Hello students, we are dealing with chapter number P8, that is system of particles and rotational mechanics. In that, first topic is P8.1, that is the basics. All school level basics, we will refresh it once. Then we come into this topic P8.2, in which we talk at +1 level topic, that is center of mass, its characteristics and its calculation. So first we will try to establish the idea behind center of mass, what way you have to identify and what are its specialities, the characteristics, and how to locate or calculate center of mass for given system of particles. So these are the things which we plan to discuss in this topic called P8.2, center of mass, characteristics and calculations. Coming here, I always teach the students in one particular way which later on proves to be good. That is, I'll teach like this: black money need not be black in color, and need not be in money form. Even the word black money is coined with two words, black and money. That money, so I have some money in my pocket. This is some 50 rupees. This money is not black in color, and need not, and moreover, some gold or something which you have, that commodity may be in black money form, but you might have not paid tax for it. That we coined the name called black money in economics. That need not be in money form. So black money need not be black in color, need not be in money form. Similarly, center of mass need not be at center, center here indicates geometric center, need not be in center, and need not possess any mass. For example, you have a hollow sphere, its center of mass lies at its center. Suppose a ring is there, its center of mass lies at the center. At there is no mass at all. Mass is present around the vicinity of the ring, but around the circumference of the ring. But at the center there is no mass. But still, that's called center of mass. So, like black money need not be black in color, it need not be in money form. Center of mass need not be at center, need not be possessing any matter there. Now comes why they have coined this word. First of all, this word belongs to economics. Economics is not a language, it's a subject. Language point of view, black is a color, money is money only. But we are not using black and money. From language we have taken word black, and language point of view we have taken money, but we are used in a subject called economics. And whenever we use something in economics, it will have economic sense or subject sense or technical sense. So the black money, it have a technical sense and it will have a purpose. The word black in English need not have any purpose, it's a meaning. Money in English is a meaning, it need not have any purpose. But whenever you are using in a subject like economics, will have technical sense and it will have a purpose. Technical sense or the subject sense is when you have a country with rich and poor of varied economic status, we cannot take money from poor to lay a road, which is used by all. And a rich person may have a lot of money and he may not have facilities in the society to enjoy. So if he can contribute some of his money in form of a tax, that can be used commonly for all. And if that person don't pay the money for the well-being of all, or will not pay tax, which he also uses and which all people will use, if he has not paid that, then that economic differences will be as it is and society also will never develop. So the interdependence will develop only when we say that the money which he has earned and not paid a tax, we call it as black money. So much sense is there in it. And once they have defined black money and they capture that money and use in the well-being, it will have a purpose also. Likewise, center is a word, dictionary meaning will be there. Center is something which is located at equal distances from all, something like that will be there. Mass is a word, will have the content of matter present, something in English dictionary you will find it. So these two words like black and money, they are being taken from a dictionary, center and mass, but when you use it in center of mass form in physics. So now this is coined word in physics. Again comes here, physics is subject but not language. When you take something from language called center and mass, it will have language meaning, literal meaning. But we don't want that. We want technical meaning, subject meaning. So we are interested in not the literal meaning of word center of mass, we want the technical meaning. Technical in the sense, the word used in the subject which has some importance. Cell in biology. Again, cell in botany is plant cell, cell in zoology is animal cell. Cell in a police station is one room kind of thing where criminals are temporarily kept for some time. Cell in a pocket means mobile phone. Cell in physics means battery. Like that, the word cell is been, even though literally taken from English dictionary, each subject used it in its own context and own purpose and own way. So those meanings are called technical meanings. The meaning from English dictionary is called literal meaning. So when something is used in language, the meaning is called literal meaning. Something when it is used in subject, it is called technical meaning. That's the problem with this word black money. There's a problem with this word center of mass. Even though individually black, individually money are taken literally, individually center, individually mass are taken literally, but if you combine them and taken into one particular subject, it will have technical sense. And what you may ask, what is the technical meaning? If at all you have an object like a scale, and you put it on a surface and hit at its edge, and that hit should not pass through its center, then it will do both translation and rotation. So if you have an object like scale and you hit it here, it will do both translation as well as rotation combinedly. If your line of action of force passes through its center of mass, which we are going to define in future, then it will only translate. So for any object, it can be a book, it can be a bench, it can be a chair, it can be a tube light, it can be a fan, whatever it may be. If at all line of action of force passes through its center of mass, that object will translate without rotation. And if line of action of force don't pass through its CM, center of mass, which we are going to define and calculate, if it is not going to pass through that and it has some perpendicular distance, the object will translate and rotate. So whether object is going to translate or going to rotate, depending on line of action of force passing through CM or not passing through CM, we will decide. So that is the importance of the word center of mass. Next, I told you technical meaning will have a sense and it will have a purpose. So once we create a cabin in a roller coaster, once we create any technical structure, technology we use it, and if the particular object, whatever you have created, if you know its center of mass and if you know characteristics and calculation, how you have to make it move such that it will translate, such that it will rotate, that all can be decided by technologists and they can prepare what they want. So many a times knowing the definition of center of mass helps you if you want to translate the object in what way the force should be applied, if you want to rotate the object what way the force should be applied, whether what kind of, for example, translation is there, we can use linear equations. If it has rotation is there, we can use angular equations, what to be used to do calculations, and all will be understood by understanding what is center of mass. So once again I am closing this beginning. I introduced the concept of center of mass. Black money need not be black in color, need not be in money form. Black is a word taken from English dictionary literal meaning, money is taken from English dictionary literal meaning. But once you combine them, it is not going to be the English meaning, it is going to be a meaning in subject economics. Whenever you take something in subject form, the meaning is not called literal meaning, it's called technical meaning. Technical meaning will have a sense and technical meaning will have a purpose, and you have to understand both. Similarly, center of mass need not be at the center. Center is a English meaning, mass is a English meaning. Combine them, then you get physics word called center of mass, and that again it's not a literal meaning. We want subject meaning, that is technical meaning. Technical meaning will have a sense, technical meaning will have a purpose. So what is the sense and what is the purpose, I cannot tell you in one word. So while doing characteristics, you'll understand little more. While doing calculation, you'll understand little more. While doing problems, you'll understand little more. So overall, when one word we cannot conclude center of mass is this, like that, we cannot conclude it. It has to be elaborated. During the elaboration, each point adding to your brain will improvise your knowledge regarding the word center of mass. So as a teacher, to explain characteristics of center of mass, first I should define center of mass, and here itself lot of struggle is needed for a good teacher to grasp your attention. So center of mass, as per textbook definition I am telling, center of mass of a system is the point where mass of the whole system is supposed to be concentrated. So here, out of all these words, the most important word what students don't understand or don't think about or emphasize on is the word suppose. I am going to explain you with two examples the meaning of suppose, then I will explain the definition. So I went to a supermarket, I made a deal of 90 rupees and I paid 100 rupees. He has to return me 10 rupees in form of a paper, which I call it as a note, 10 rupees note. So I'm expecting this piece of paper from that person. Piece of paper, and not any piece of paper. If he writes 10 rupees and gives, I don't take it. It should be the currency note. Then he says that instead of 10 rupees, don't have change. You take 2 5 rupees 5-star chocolates. 2 5 rupees 5-star chocolates. And you say that I am not interested in chocolates. In spite of that, give me one pen, which is 10 rupees cost. Now, a piece of paper which you can't eat, but it has some value, which you are giving value as 10 rupees, is replaceable with 2 edible, eatable 5-star 5 rupee chocolates. And these 2 5 rupee 5-star chocolates is replaceable with a pen. For this currency note, if you ask 50 chocolates, he will not give. If you ask 10 pens, he will not give. If you give 1 chocolate, you are not ready to take. That means we have supposed that physically this is a paper you can't eat. This is chocolate which you can eat. This is not, you cannot eat, it is not a paper and you can write with it. So they are physically, in reality, they are distinct. A piece of government published paper or currency note is supposed to be equal to 2 5-star chocolates prepared by a Cadbury company, which is equivalent to a pen Reynolds company or some company has created Montex pen is equal. How they are equal? Paper, chocolate, pen, they are not equal, but value wise they are equal. So this kind of thing we call it as supposition. So what we are going to suppose, how much discrete these are, that much discrete the system is. For example, if you have a chair, that chair will have center of mass somewhere here. So this distributed mass of chair, I replace it with one point and I say that the whole mass of the chair can be treated to be concentrated here. That kind of supposition I want to make it. When I make this supposition, you don't like it because you don't like physics first of all. Or you may not be able to accept it, but I make you accept that first. Just thing is here, understanding, not understanding is different issue. Accepting, not accepting is a issue. So if you are an alien, you came from some other planet, if I say that this paper and this chocolates and this pen are same, you don't accept it. Like that only, now you are alien to physics. So in this physics, how you are ready to accept this money conversion, value conversion, like that I have to make you understand this supposition. So most important word is this supposition. Center of mass of a system is a point where the whole of the system's mass is supposed to be concentrated. To explain that, I explained this. Just a minute. So something which you want to suppose, then that should not be that, first of all. I repeat it. For example, there are two persons. There is one big anchor called Arnab Goswami. I go and put mic in front of him and I say, suppose you are a prime minister, what you will do to the country? I am telling, suppose you are a prime minister, because he is not a prime minister, he is an anchor, TV anchor. So TV anchor, you can go in front of him and ask, suppose you are. I can ask anybody except Narendra Modi, who is our prime minister presently. I cannot say that, suppose you are a prime minister, what you will do? That I should not question. What you do, I can question. Suppose you are a prime minister, should not ask. Why? Because he is already a prime minister of India. So supposition we will do for anybody except Narendra Modi in India. Why? Because he is already the prime minister. So supposition is a word which we do only if it is not so. So if it is not a point, that thing we call it as supposition. It's a distributed discrete mass, and I am supposing it to be a concentrated point mass. I am making something equal. So previously when I used 1 pen is equal to 1 10 rupee note, which is equal to 2 5-star chocolates, I made certain supposition basing on their value of creation. Like that, I should have some authenticity when I am making them equal. I should have some reasoning behind it. And the reason is economic reason for that. Previously when we told that 1 pen is equal to 2 chocolates is equal to 1 10 rupees note, that is economic supposition. And in physics we have physics supposition. What is that physics supposition? Now we will understand. You have a 1 kg scale, and you have 1 kg point mass. Point mass you will not have, but let us have a very concentrated heavy mass, 1 kg mass. Now I apply a force of 10 newtons. Let us take just 2 kgs. It's force of 10 newtons on mass of 2 kgs gives it accelerates and goes straight like this. And acceleration is force by mass. And the force is 10 newtons, mass is 2 kgs. So it will accelerate at 5 meters per second square. You can use v is equal to u plus at, its positions, its velocity gained, everything you can calculate it. Now for example, there is a scale which is 2 kgs. Again I apply 10 Newton force. So I calculate what is something called center of mass. I assume that I know what its center of mass, and I apply force of 10 newtons on this mass of 2 kgs, and this will also accelerate like this with force by mass ratio, that is 10 by 2, that is 5 meters per second square. Physically there is no distinction in calculation of acceleration, finding initial velocity, displacement, final velocity, everything you can do it here. Treating this distributed mass as to be a point mass, the behavior of point mass, which is translation, and the behavior of distributed mass translation will be same. If I talk about any one point in it or multiple points in it, all of them going to do the same. Here comes the trouble. I remove this 10 Newton force from line joining the center of mass. If I apply here force of same 10 newtons, so this object will do like this. Along with the translation, it will rotate and move. On a horizontal table, this will translate and rotate. In that context, this distributed mass is not behaving like a point mass. Point mass only translates, if at all point mass exists. But here it is translating as well as rotating. So it is not behaving like this. In this, I cannot suppose this to be a point mass. When I can suppose it to be a point mass, that means there is a point inside a distributed mass where if I apply a force, this distributed mass behaving like a point mass. So this is my physical parallel. Economic parallel, 10 rupee note is equal to 2 5-star chocolates is equal to 1 pen. That was the economic parallel. To print a 10 rupee note, how much value we have to spend. To create 2 5-star eatable chocolates, how much value you have to create, how much work is done so that that product has come for that value. To create a Montex pen of 10 rupees cost, how much the ink costed, how much the refill costed, how much the preparation costed, how much it is costed. So total that value came out to be 10 rupees. So like that there was an economic equality. Here there is a physical equality. Distributed mass behaving like a point mass under a condition that your line of action of force passes through a certain point, and that certain point is center of mass. So center of mass of a distributed mass system is a point where the mass of the whole distributed mass supposed to be concentrated. I cannot take every point in it and call center of mass. There exclusively for a given system there exists only one point. Similarly, if at all I apply the force like this, such that line of action passes through center of mass, then it will translate down like this. Again it will have 5 meters per second square acceleration, everything will be same. So this supposition hold true in physics, in a physical sense, where a distributed mass can be treated as a point mass. But distributed mass is distributed mass, point mass is point mass. 5 rupees is 5, 10 rupees is 10 rupees, chocolates are chocolates. 10 rupees is a paper currency note and chocolates are edible, eatable. They are not same. Here also distributed scale mass and a point mass are different, but still their behavior is same. Similarly, instead of this distribution, if at all there is a 2 kg mass which I made it into a ring, ring, and there is a center here. If my line of action of force passes through this center and I apply 10 newtons on this 2 kg ring, then it will accelerate like this with force by mass, that is 10 by 2, that is 5 meters per second square. So it will also behave like a point mass for me. Even though this mass is distributed along the periphery of the ring, it behaves like a point mass for me. So it's supposed, it is not true. Distributed mass is distributed mass, point mass is point mass. They are distinct. When they are distinct only we make the supposition. I just now told no. Arnab Goswami is an anchor who is not a prime minister. You can go and ask him if you are a prime minister, if I suppose you as a prime minister. But you should not ask that directly to Narendra Modi and say that suppose you are a prime minister. He is already a prime minister. So like that supposition we make only. So out of the word, most difficult word where emphasis is not been properly focused on textbooks and all is the word suppose. Supposing we do only when they are not same. If they are same, we don't suppose it. Anyhow, so I hope I explained the first point regarding first character of center of mass. Center of mass is a point. There is a distributed mass system. In that we are locating one point specifically and we are going to calculate that point. We are not telling in fluke. There exists one point where mass of the whole system is supposed to be concentrated. Still again, if you are not happy, again I will tell you, this is a book. This is a distributed mass. I put my finger here, it will fall down. I put my finger here, it will fall down. There exists, if at all with consciousness I put finger at different places, there exists one point where this book can be balanced. So distributed mass at one particular point, if at all you hold it, it is behaving like a point mass, and at some other point it is not behaving like a point mass. So for every system there exists certain point where we can treat whole of its mass is at that point. It's only treating point. Treating means thinking like that, and that thinking will have essence and a purpose. Yes students, first characteristics is supposition of distributed mass to be concentrated mass. That first point I written side by. I will go on add up the points. Unconstrained rotations of any object happen about its center of mass. First we will understand what is constrained rotation. Say there is a box here. This box is having a door, a lid, which is fixed here. So it is constrained. So when I allow this disc, this is the only way I can rotate it. So it is restricted. Similarly, I have a door here. That door is constrained. There is hinges. According to that constraint of the hinge, restriction of the hinge, it is allowed to move only in one particular fashion. If I can detach this and I can make it a plane like this book and throw like a frisbee, in beach you play, no, frisbee kind of thing, where no restriction, no hooks and no hinges are there, and I allow freely for it to rotate, it rotates about its center of mass. Forcibly I can fix here and rotate about this hinge. Forcibly I can fix here and I can rotate it like this. Forcibly I can fix it and rotate like this. These are all called constrained rotations. But a natural kick, without any constraint, without any hinges, if I make it, any object will rotate about its center of mass. So the object itself will choose an axis, and that axis will pass through center of mass. So center of mass behaves as a natural hinge or a natural pivot. About which rotations occur. Suppose you have a watch. Today I didn't wear the watch. Watch will have a pivot here. About the pivot, the needles will rotate. There is no other option for the needle. But that needle, if you can detach, and that needle, if you give a kick, then it will rotate like this. So about its center of. Previously it was rotating about the hinge. Now it will rotate about its center of mass. Because it is not hinged, it will choose in the body itself. It will have one place where it will choose about which the axis pass, and that axis passes through center of mass. In future, in this same chapter, we'll understand that there is a topic called moment of inertia. It will be lowest for an axis passing through CM. For any other axis, moment of inertia will be large. For an axis which is passing through CM, moment of inertia will be less. So always the body naturally chooses to rotate about CM, because compared to any other axis, that will be the easy for it to rotate. I repeat. Constrained rotations means some restriction is there. Unconstrained rotations means no restriction is there. When there is no restriction and you allow an object to naturally rotate, then it will choose an axis, and that generally as that axis passes through what? Center of mass. So center of mass behaves as a natural hinge or natural pivot. So this is your second point regarding unconstrained rotations. Likewise, one by one point I am going to add it up. Third point. We come to the basic. Center of mass, I am now on what's called CM. Some textbooks and North Indian materials like Fitji, Akash, Bansal, Resonance, they call center of mass as COM. I call it as CM because COM I use it for conservation of momentum. So conservation of momentum, COM symbol I am using. I am using symbol CM. Many times center of mass has to come. So center of mass, COM I am not using. CM I am using. COM I use it for conservation of momentum. Anyhow, center of mass need not be at geometric center. So suppose I have a rectangle. This shape of a figure is called rectangular shape, and that rectangle will have a geometric center, middle of the length and middle of the breadth. So this is called geometric center. Now I have a same rectangle. This is the rectangle. In that there is a mobile phone. This mobile phone I introduce into this rectangle inside, and I am holding it its edge, and I am putting it like this. So my cell phone is towards left side. So I say that there is more mass here in this region. I am not talking about a geometrical figure. I am talking about a real object called book, in which I place the cell phone. Then center of the book will lie here because it's a uniformly distributed mass. Center of the phone lies in the center of the phone, and overall, if at all you combine them by tightly pasting the phone into it, center of mass somewhere lies here. This is CM. This is a geometric center of the uniform mass book. This is a geometric center of uniform mass cell phone. This heavy, and cell phone is more heavy. So center of mass will be somewhere nearer to the heavier mass. So there will be a point between these two. Center of mass will be there. Now if I kick the book in this way straight like this, it will translate as well as rotate. If I kick the book such that line of action of force passes through center of the cell phone, it will also translate and rotate. But if I apply the force along the line passing through center of mass, then the book only translates without any rotation. That means center of mass need not be at center. That I tried to prove it here. Center of mass need not be at center. Suppose a rectangular piece, I made it with half made up of wood. and half with thermocol. Geometric center is this for this rectangle. Geometric center as well as center of mass of the thermocol lies here. Geometric center as well as center of mass of wood lies here. But wood is heavier than that. So if you calculate center of mass, come somewhere here, Cm. So Cm and geometric center of the rectangle, which is this. Geometric center of the thermocol as well as center of mass of thermocol is this. So in this way we can understand that that can be next point. See, center of mass need not be at center. That is the third point. Cm need not be at center. From this point only you can go to the fourth point. Cm will be nearer to the heavier mass. Cm will be nearer to so compared to thermocol, wood will have more mass. So wood will have center of mass, thermocol will have center of mass, overall body will have center. That's not center of mass. And overall this structure, if you take into account, this will not have three center of masses. This is geometric center, this is geometric center, this is geometric center. Geometric center of the shape, geometric center of the thermocol, geometric center of the wood, and this is center of mass of the object made by combination of wood and thermocol. This kind of object you will see it on roads. There will be a doll called Hit Me. When you hit the doll like this, it will fall down and automatically it comes up. Why? Because inside it is filled with air and lot of mass they will keep at the bottom like this. You can also create a Hit Me doll. If you have some plate kind of thing, you put it at the bottom and you create a balloon kind of structure on the top. If you hit it, the plate center of mass goes like up like this and it's come back. So center of mass of this doll will not be at the center here. It will be here, nearest to the bottom. So that's why it will behave like that. Center of mass will be nearer to heavier mass. Fourth point, Cm lies near to heavy mass. So now comes another point which you need to understand. There is a square made up of light rods, massless rods. I keep 1 kg, 1 kg, 1 kg, 1 kg balls here. I keep 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg, 4 kg balls here. 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg, 4 kg balls here. So center of these two lies here, center of these two lies here, center of these two lies here, center. So automatically center comes here. All of them are equally distant from here, 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 here. Even though here all of them are equally distant, center of mass will be somewhere here. It will be nearer to this mass, and it should be nearer to 3 also. So it will be somewhere here, far away from 1 kg, little more less distance from 2 kg, like that. So center of mass will be nearer to heavier. This point what I told now, it will come into calculation. When we do the calculation, you will understand that the Cm what we are going to calculate, it will be coming nearer to the heavier mass. During the calculation you will understand that. So center of mass is a point where mass of the whole system is supposed to be concentrated, is the first point. Unconstrained, unrestricted rotations of any object will happen about an axis which passes through center of mass. Center of mass behaves as a natural pivot or a natural hinge. Center of mass need not be at the geometric center. Center of mass lies nearer to the heavier mass. Fifth point. These all things are characteristics of center of mass. Matter need not be present at the location of Cm. Center of mass is a point or a location. At that location, because in the word mass is there, mass should be present there means no need of any solid, liquid or gas to be present. So for that, very good example is a ring, a hollow sphere. That's why I use the word need not be. Even if it is a solid disk, matter may be present at the center, and for solid sphere, matter will be present, center will be there. So it is not compulsory, that condition that mass should be present. Suppose I have this book, center of mass lies here, center, not only here, in the middle, somewhere here. If I cut this book such that the book comes in form of a rectangular framework, Again, its center of mass lie here only, but there is a material here, there is material not there here. So material or matter need not be present at the location which you call it as center of mass. Center of mass is a point for us, and that point is of interest. We are not interested that mass should be present there. So the fifth characteristic point is matter need not be there. At Cm. So the point what we are calling it as Cm, that need not carry any mass there or matter there. So these are the few important points. As the time passes on, as we are going in details of, so first we have established what is center of mass, then we have tried to write the 5 important characteristics of center of mass, then we do to calculations of center of mass involving them. Thereafter, when we are doing all these things, your day by day knowledge will increase, and when you are going on, see, once when I was teaching this concept called center of mass and I am going on giving lecture, one of the students asked, sir, we are happy, we are comfortable with your lecture, there is no problem, but don't pull it like this. Just tell in one sentence what is center of mass. I said, I can't. If I could have told, and if there is any possibility for any scientist to tell what is center of mass in one word, they would have not elaborated this much. So center of mass is not a meaning to learn. Center of mass is a definition to understand. In English, for every word you'll have one meaning, and that's sufficient. It's not like that. I took cell phone, I took book, I took chair, I took so many things. So wide variety of objects are available in this nature. So I am defining some concept related to every one of them. So that concept is applicable to every one of the object. Suppose you are going on a road and suddenly you hit with a stone, you hit the stone. Some stones will go to very long distance, some stones go to a shorter distance and they stop. That means the stone was some crooked shape like this, you hit it somewhere here, it has to try to rotate and translate, that's why it will not go long distance. Sometimes you hit it straight like this, such that your kick will pass through its Cm, it will go to a long distance, because it has to only translate it, need not rotate. So everything what you are doing is to be incorporated in it. So that student, I respect the question, what that student told. So don't pull it long, tell it in a short way, crispy way. This is almost very crispy I am telling. But not only me, any teacher cannot tell much crispier saying that center of mass is this, that's all. Every point you add up to your elaboration, every new point, I may by mistake, as we are teaching from many years, same thing may be repeatedly told, but not that. Every new point you add is a contribution for your knowledge regarding center of mass. So you should never be happy by knowing 10 points. You should aim for the 11th point, 12th point. So while doing problems, some more points will get into your brain. That every point becomes important in future. So I am not saying sorry for what I told. That is, I cannot explain. I am happy that I am not able to explain center of mass in one word. Center of mass is not to be explained in one word. It is to be elaborated as much as possible. And every point will contribute to your knowledge. Yes, students, I introduced what is center of mass, 5 of the important characteristics of center of mass I told. In course of my lecture, I may add some more points that are to be added into the characteristics. Now I am going into the mathematics of Cm calculation. So there is one mass m1. At a distance d, there exists another mass m2, such that m2 mass is greater than m1 mass, and we know Cm will be nearer to the heavier mass. So this distance I call d1, total d, and this distance I call d2. And here m is inversely proportional to d. So m1 by m2 is equal to d2 by d1. It will come like that. More mass will be nearer and less mass will be far away. Now for this I can simply write m1 d1 is equal to m2 d2. This holds true. More mass, less distance, less mass, more distance, it will be hold. So now if I introduce one coordinate system such that there is an origin 0, 0, 0 and I take this as x-axis. The first one is at a distance of x1, center of mass is at a distance of xcm, and the second mass is at a distance of x2. So just a minute, I am pausing the video. Yes students, sorry for the disturbance. So from center of mass, distance of smaller mass is d1, from center of mass, distance of the heavier mass is d2, distance between them is d, which is not actually required now, but in future we will connect d1 and d2 with d also. So we have introduced a coordinate system. First mass is at a distance x1, center of mass at a distance of xcm, second mass at a distance of x2. Now if you substitute in this m1, d1 is this distance, this is from here to center of mass minus x1, xcm minus x1, m2, d2 is this distance, this is total x2 minus xcm. If you open the brackets, m1 xcm, this is a positive quantity, minus m2 xcm comes this side, plus m2 xcm, m2 x2, this is, and this m1 x1 which was negative sign goes that side, becomes plus m1 x1. So if you take xcm common, m1 x1 plus m2 x2 by m1 plus m2. Whenever we have two masses at different distances from origin, center of mass will be on the line joining their centers, and that you can find out using this formula, xcm is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 by m1 plus m2. Seeing that, and origin is also along the same line, but if at all you have one more mass m3, you have one more mass m4, so center of mass will be in between all of them along a straight line if you have multiple masses. So some masses will be left hand side, some masses will be right hand side. So some masses will come this side, some masses will come this side. Negative quantities you take this side and negative quantities you take that side, you will get similar equation. This is for two masses, two particles. For multiple masses you have xcm is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 dot 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 mn xn divided by m1 plus m2 dot 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 mn. How many of our masses are there along the line? These are for n discrete masses, discontinuous, they should not be side by side, they should be one after other. For n discrete masses is the formula, n center of mass for n discrete masses along straight line. Two masses will be always along a straight line, but third mass need not be in the same line. But if at all they are in the same line, then you can use this formula. Otherwise, there is a mathematical expression which can be written in a simplest form. xcm is equal to sigma start from I is equal to 1 to n mi xi. By putting 1, 2, 3, 4, you will get all of them. Summation tells that add, divided by sigma I is equal to 1 to n mi. With anxiety don't cancel mi and mi, it's not true like that. So mi xi, m1 x1 plus m2 x2, first do the product, then do the sum, then divide. So this can be also taken as total mass of the system, capital M. So 1 by m times sigma I is equal to 1 to n mi xi. But now the question is, there are four particles, but they are one is here like that. Then you have to introduce a coordinate system which has x-axis and y-axis in a plane. Then you get xcm, ycm and 0. If they are distributed in space, xcm, ycm, zcm. What is xcm? That formula, 1 by m times of sigma I is equal to 1 to n mi xi, comma, ycm is 1 by m sigma I is equal to 1 to n mi yi. So you have to write x coordinates, y coordinates and z coordinates and do the calculation. And now we are going to deal with the general equation. Suppose first mass is at a distance r1 vector, second mass at a distance r2 vector. So I am going to conclude calculation of position of center of mass in 3D. RCM bar, position of center of mass vector, position vector of center of mass is equal to XCM I cap plus YCM J cap plus ZCM K cap, which is equal to M1 times of R1 bar. Like for x-axis M1 x1 M2 x2 has come, no, like that, M1 x1 R1 bar plus M2 R2 bar plus Mn Rn bar divided by M1 plus M2 plus so on Mn. Now you may get a doubt, what is R1 bar? Still you can open the bracket. M1 R1 bar is x1 x coordinate of the first particle I cap, y coordinate of the first particle j cap, z coordinate of the first particle k cap plus M2 Mn Rni xni Ynj Znk divided by the total mass of the system. This is what is a position vector of the center of mass. So by knowing individual position vectors of each of the masses, we can find the center of mass of the overall system. Interestingly, if there are so many particles here, one is there, one is there, one is there, all are at there. So one location comes as the center of mass of that masses. But if one of them or two of them or many of them or all of them are moving, then position of center of mass changes. When you differentiate this d by dt of RCM bar, total mass of the system divided by m will not change. First particle mass will not change, but its position will change. dr1 by dt plus m2 dr2 by dt vectors. So on you will get it. So this will lead to velocity of center of mass, which is equal to 1 by m, where total mass m1 plus m2 plus m3. If you are not interested, I will write it later on. m1 v1 bar m2 v2 bar plus mn vn bar divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3 up to mn. This all comes out to be total mass of the system. The way you are differentiated R to get V, the similar way you differentiate V to get ACM bar, acceleration of center of mass, comes like this. M1, that means individual particles are accelerating, then center of mass also will accelerate. M1 A1 bar plus M2 A2 bar plus Mn An bar divided by M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus Mn. Interestingly, if you can cross multiply like this, you get, implies I have written, not equal to, implies M total mass of the system times VCM bar comes out to be M1 V1 bar plus M2 V2 bar plus So momentum of center of mass, that is total mass of the system times velocity of center of mass, is equal to momentum of the first particle plus momentum of the second particle plus momentum of the third particle, so on. And it should be, these are quantities are vectors, so it's a vector sum. Similarly, if you take this into account, total mass of the system into acceleration of the center of mass gives you mass of the first particle, acceleration of the first particle, mass of the second particle, acceleration of the second particle, This is nothing but net force on the system. Total mass into acceleration of center of mass is called net force on the system. This is net force on the first particle plus this is net force on the second particle plus net force on the nth particle. You may see here that we got several equations now. This first one, whatever we have written box, I am giving box. This is the mathematics of center of mass, which I wanted to say you, explain to you. This is equation number 1. Velocity of center of mass related equation. This is equation number 2, which we are going to use in problems now. This is equation number 3. This momentum's linkage is equation number 4. This net force linkage is equation number 5. These 5 equations forms calculations related to center of mass. So here one stubble point is there. Some students, one student told, sir, what is there? Sir, you are taken position and differentiated to get velocity, velocity differentiated to get acceleration, acceleration is differentiated to get momentum. Sorry, multiplied, cross multiplied to get momentum, cross multiplied to get force. I don't think anything new we have done. Everything is new. We have extended the logic for one particle into multiple particles. Then I asked him one question. I asked, position of center of mass is equal to sum of the positions of the individual particles. Can I write like this? I asked him, position of the center of mass of the particle is equal to individual positions. Can I take? Means he said, no sir, here M1 R1 is there, no, you are not supposed to take, right? Then I told, momentum of center of mass, can I take it as 1 by m times of m1 p1 plus m2 p2? Shall I take like that? Then I said, no sir, how can you take this is like this? I told you, that is what you have learned. So by knowing individual positions of center of mass, how to find position of the individual positions of the particle, how to find the position of the center of mass, there is a formula. By knowing individual velocities of particles in the system, how to find center of mass velocity, there is a procedure. By knowing individual momentums of the particles, how do you find momentum of the center of mass, there is a procedure. So these procedures you have learnt altogether. So these formulas are to be by-hearted, to be understood. We have extended the logic for n particle system, and this one has more importance in future when we do second topic, motion involving center of mass. There it has its own importance. Anyhow, here we have a chance, so I am taking it. This I am writing. Net force on the system. For example, you have many times I told this example. This is A, this is B, this is C. This is force on A due to B. This is force on B due to A. This is force on B due to C. This is force on C due to B. This is force on C due to A. This is force on A due to C. If I have like that, if I take only this part as a system, then there are two external forces acting. If I take B and C together, this and this are external forces, this and these are internal forces. So if I take only this as system, this force becomes external for that. If I combine them, then it becomes internal force. So net force on first particle, net force on second particle, net force on third particle you take. So net force on, for example, this particle, one is external, one is internal. But internal force cancel each other. External forces don't cancel each other like that. So total force on the system can be taken as net external force plus net internal force. And net internal forces cancel each other in a given system of particles. So this will be 0. So net force acting on the system, whenever we talk, is only due to external forces. And if that external force creating object you take into the system, then net external force also becomes internal force. Then force on the system may become 0 also. That means in the previous case A, B, C, if there is no other forces, if I take all of them as a system, then all the forces become internal. So this net external force becomes 0. Then force on the system will become 0. There will be force on B due to A and C. There will be force on A due to A and B and C. But on A plus B plus C as a system, if you take all together, outside there is nothing. Therefore, total force on the system will be 0. In that case, total mass of the system times acceleration of the center of mass is 0. When I add mass of this particle plus this particle plus this particle, I don't get 0. So mass cannot be 0. When one of the quantity is not 0, other quantity obviously must be 0. So acceleration of center of mass is 0. This leads to a very powerful law. So when I am going to deal the next topics, there I am going to emphasize on that. Presently, I am telling you, don't think that we have done silly calculations, we have differentiated position to get velocity, velocity differentiated to get acceleration, acceleration multiplied cross to get net force, moment, velocity multiplied cross to get momentum. These all things not true. Whatever equations are there on the board, 5 of the equations, you by heart them. We are going to use them in problems. So give me little time to clear the board. So we understood what is center of mass, we understood the characteristics of center of mass. Now we are going for the calculations. In that calculation, the required formulas we derived, 5 formulas. Just now what we derived and put box, no, that you have to remember. Now let us take a simple example. There is 1 kg point mass, another 1 kg point mass, and they are separated by a distance of 2 meters. So this I take M1, this I take M2. Now I want to find center of mass. Where is it? So I can take origin anywhere. So I take some origin here. Say this distance is 3 meters. So x1 is equal to 3, x2 plus 3 plus 2, that is 5. You know that equal masses are there, center of mass lie here. So we are expecting the final answer to be the middle number. Middle number from this origin is 3 plus 1, that comes out to be 4. Let us check. M1 x1, xcm is M1 x1 plus M2 x2 by M1 plus M2. 1 into 3 plus 1 into 5 by 1 plus 1. So 3 plus 5 by 2, 8 by 2, 4. So from origin it is at 4 cm, 4 meters distance. So from here it is 1 meter, from here it is 1 meter. Like that we can go. But this way we generally don't take origin somewhere else. We take origin as one of them. Then what happens we will see. Same question. If this is origin and from here I measure the distances, x1 will be on the origin and x2 will be after 2 meters. M1 x1 1 into 0, M2 x2 1 into 2 by 1 plus 1. Both the masses are 1 kg and 1 kg. This is your xcm. This comes out to be 0 plus 2 by 2, 1. So from this origin it is at 1 meter distance. So here itself. So this is easy problem. Let us take little difficult problem. Suppose this is 2 kg. Now as I told, center of mass will be nearer to the heavier mass. So this should come more than 1. Let us check. So instead of 1 into 2 kg, we make 2 into 2 kg. 1 into 0, 2 into that. So this is 4 by 2. Sorry, here also this will change. 1 plus 2, M1 plus M2. So this comes out to be 4 by 3, 1.33. So more than this, here it will be somewhere. So this distance, we get it. So 4 by 3 meters. This distance, 4 by 3. This distance I want. Then 2 minus 4 by 3. 3 to the 6 minus 4, 2 by 3. So it will be 2 by 3 meters. This distance will be 2 by 3 meters. If you happen to see, if you take one of them as origin, and other distance you take like this, something interesting thing is happening. We can have a general formula to relate all these things. Let the first mass is M1, second mass is M2, distance of separation between the particles is say D. M1, M2 and D. If you take one of the M1 as origin, x1 is equal to 0, x2 is equal to distance D. Then xcm from M1 comes as M1 into 0 plus M2 into D by M1 plus M2. M2 by M1 plus M2 into D. So distance of center of mass from M1 is M2D by M1 plus M2. Similarly, if you do xcm taking this as origin, you take this as origin and take left side as the distance. So x2 will be 0 and x1 will be d. So m1d plus m2 into 0 by m1 plus m2. So m1 by m1 plus m2 into d. This way, this is position of center of mass from first m1. This is position of center of mass from m2. They will be inverse ratio. They will be in inverse ratio. This distance is say d1. This distance is say d2. M1, this is d1, this is d2. How are they related? You can multiply. I told you previously, m1 d1 will be equal to m2 d2. m1 d1. m1 d1 is this, this is this. m2 d by m1 plus m2. This is equal to m2 d2 is equal to this is equal to this. m1 by m1 plus m2 into d. So m1 m2, m1 m2, m1 plus m2, m1 both are equal. That's what is LHS is equal to RHS. So heavier mass will be at a lower distance, lower mass will be at a higher distance. Now let us extend this logic for more number of particles along a straight line. So 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg, 4 kg. Point masses separated by 1 meter distance, 1m, 1m, 1m. Now we want location of center of mass. You can even extend it further. You can have also 5 kg mass, 1 mass, all along the same straight line. Now we want position of center of mass. Now the question is from where you want. From where you want. So I take this as origin from here onwards. x1 is equal to 0. Here, after coming here, you will come to x2. Second particle is at 1. x3 is 2. x4 is 3. x5 is 4. 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter, 4 meter. Like that. m1 x1, 1 into 0. m2 x2, 2 into 1. 3 into 2. 4 into 3. 5 into 4. Divided by, now we get center of mass from here, this location. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 10. 4 plus 3 7. 7 plus 3 10 plus 5 15. So denominator is 15. What is numerator? 0 plus 2 plus 6. 3 2s are 6. 4 3s are 12. 4 5s are 20. 12 plus 6, 18 plus 2, 20, 20, 40. 40 by 15. 5 table. 5 8s are, 5 3s are. So 8 by 3 meters. At 8 by 3 meters, center of mass lies. You want, you can find that 3 dividing 8. 3 2s are 6.0. 3 6 are 18. 2.66. So from here to here is 1, from here to here is 1, here is, it will be 2.5, little more than that. So center of mass somewhere it lies here, and that distance is 2.66 meters from the origin you have taken. From the origin you have taken. Now instead of this center of mass, instead of taking from there, you take from 3 kg. Here onwards is my origin. 0 is here. Then answer comes same, but it comes this distance, this much only, not from there you will get. So let us see. Now the coordinates will change. This is x3 is equal to 0, x4 doesn't matter, you can take this as x1, x2, x3 like that, but whatever, 4 kg is at 4, 1, x5 is equal to 2 kgs, 2 meters, 1 plus 1. Left side, you should not take plus values now, left side you have to take minus. x2 is equal to minus 1, x3 is equal x1 is equal to minus 2. Minus 1 meter, minus 2 meter, plus 1, plus 2. So m1 x1, m2 x2 like that. 1 into minus 2 plus 2 into minus 1 plus 3 into 0, 4 into 1, 5 into 2 divided by total mass will not change. 15, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. XCM. XCM 1 into 2, 2 into 1. Sorry, minus, it will not cancel. This is minus 4 plus 0, 4 plus 14 divided by 15. 10 by 15. 2 by 3. 3 dividing 2. You will get 0.66. So from here we got the distance 0.66 meters. Whatever origin you want, you can take. Center of mass value, you may say that center of mass is changing. No sir, previously we got XCM as 2.66 meters. Now you got 0.66 meters. Center of mass has changed. No, you changed your origin. Center of mass is there only. From 3 kg mass, previously also it was at a 0.66 distance. Now also it is at 0.66 distance. From 1 kg mass, previously it was at a distance of 2.66. Now also it is at 2.66. This you can add as one of the characteristics of center of mass. By changing the origin, center of mass value will change, but location of center of mass with respect to the parts of the system will not change. So location of the center of mass is independent of reference frame chosen. So my body center of mass is here when I am moving, when I am running, so not that my body parts get detached. If they are still attached, center of mass lies there only. So it is at a distance, certain distance from here, always it will be there. So previously also it was at a 0.66 from 3 kg. Now also it is at 0.66 from 3 kg. Previously it was at a distance of 2.66 from 1 kg. Now also it is a distance of 2.66 from 1 kg. But one answer you got this, one answer you got this, because you changed your origin. It is you changed your origin. The location of center of mass did not change. Once for a given system, center of mass, if all the particles are not moving, center of mass remains same. That kind of systems we call rigid systems. So this is more particles in a single straight line. Now let us take another important. Let us have a square. Take all our 2 kgs, 2 kg, 2 kg, 2 kg, 2 kg. This is your y-axis, this is your x-axis. And this distance is 4 meters, 4 meters, 4 meters and 4 meters. Now we have to give our coordinates. This is 0, 0, m1, x1, y1. Just a moment. If I call this as m2, then I have to write x2, y2. So this is a distance of 4, 0. X coordinate is 4. x2, y2. This is 4, 4. x3, y3. If this is m3. This is 0, 4. This is x4, y4, and if this is m4. Actually writing symbols is more difficult. Just by seeing, if you write the coordinates is easy. First mass into first coordinate, second mass into second coordinate, like that you can write it. Anyhow, xcm is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 plus m4 x4 by m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus m4. Now like that. So m1 2 into 0 plus 2 into 4 plus 2 into 4 plus 2 into 0 divided by 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. 2 4s are 8, 2 4s are 8, 8 8 16, 16 by 8. 8 1s are 8 2s are. So answer comes, x coordinate of CM comes out to be 2. Similarly, YCM you do it, again you will get 2. So from here you have to go to, out of 4 you go middle, out of 4 you go middle. So center of mass lie here. You are happy, center of mass lies at the geometric center. Why it came like that? Because you took all the masses to be equal. Because you have taken all the masses equal distribution of mass, so center of mass lie at the center. Now let us make the interesting change. M1 is 1 kg, M2 is 2 kg, M3 is 3 kg, M4 is 4 kg. Now do the calculation. Let us see. 1 into 0 plus 2 into 4, 3 into 4, 4 into 0, x coordinate you have to take, by masses, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. This is 0, this is 0, 2 4s are 8, 3 4s are 12, 8 plus 12, 20, by 1 plus, this coming 10, yeah, it's coming 2, again it's coming 2. Why it's happening like that? Okay, let us check YCM, then we'll see whether it's coming like this. It will not come at center because unequal masses we have taken. I confirm it. Previous case it comes at the center, XCM, YCM comes same. Now M1, Y1, 1 into 0 plus 2 into second coordinate plus 3 into 4 plus 4 into 4 divided by 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, 10. 3 4 4 are 16, 3 4 are 12, 16 plus 12, 28, yeah, by 10, 2.8. So x you have to come 2 meters, y you have to go beyond 2, you have to come here, somewhere here, 2.8, like that it comes. So it will be nearer to the heavier masses and it will be far away from the lighter masses. In that way I'll get it. So if you have patience, do from here you find this distance, from here you find this distance, from here you, how to find, coordinates, under root of x2 minus x1 whole square, y2 minus y1 whole square form, you do it. You will get this distance to be the least. Distance comes least with respect to the heavier mass. Next geometry is rectangle. Let me have 4 masses. This is 8 meters. This is 4 meters. Mm. 2 kg. kg. Let us do like this. Now coordinates. So I take this as origin. See, anything you can take origin. Just it's a convenience. 0, 0, 8, 0, 8, 4. This is 4 units. 0, 4. Now I am doing XCM and YCM. XCM, M1, X1, this into this, 0. 3 8s are, 8 3s are, 24, plus 8 8s are, 64, plus 2 zeros are, 0, by 3 plus 2, 5, 8 plus 2, 10, 15, YCM. You may be wondering, sir is doing very quickly. See, that's what I've told you. Writing this as M1, X1, Y1, M2, X2, it will take more time. And if this is M1, this becomes X1, Y1. If this is M1, this becomes X1, Y1. So don't need to first write the coordinates. Just multiply it like that. YCM, 2 into 0, 0, plus 3 into 0, 0, plus 8 4s are 32, plus 2 4s are 8 by 15. 64 plus 4, 68, 68 plus 20, 88 by 15. 32 plus 8, 40 by 15. Obviously it will not be at the center. Center will be out of 8 half, 4 out of 4 half, 4 comma 2 is the center. 4 comma 2 is the center, but it's not coming out to be 4 comma 2. It will come different. So that's the 88 by 15 value and 40 by 15 value. When you do, you will get two values. That value will be the coordinate of the center of mass, and that center of mass will be generally nearer to the heavier mass, 8 kg. It will be nearest to the 8 kg. This is the way we can do it. And if you take this as origin and write the coordinates, this becomes 0 comma 0 minus x-axis minus y-axis, but still the position of the center of mass come here. That is according to your coordinate system chosen. So depending on the coordinate system you choose, you will get the answers. Very famous problem, very famous problem, almost it's given in every textbook, is equilateral triangle problem. I will show you that. So before equilateral triangle, let us do right angle triangle. 3, 4 and 5. 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg. Write the coordinates. Any one of this you take origin 0 comma 0, 3 comma 0. This is 0 comma 4. XEM. This 5 not required actually. XEM. M1 x1. 1 into 0, 2 into 3, 3 into 0 by 1 plus 2 plus 3, 6 by 6. What? YCM. 1 into 0, 2 into 0, 3 4s are 12 by 6. So 1 comma 2. So this is 3 meters. Say 1, 2, 3 meters. So you have to come from up to 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you have to come up to 2. So this would be your center of mass lies there, which will not be the centroid. So center of mass is a place here, and it will be nearer to the 3 kg mass, far away from 2 kg, very much far away from 1 kg. If you find distances, you will understand that. And now comes the very famous problem, which will be there in every textbook, that is equilateral triangle. All angles should be 60, 60, 60. This is 1 kg. This is 2 kg. This is 3 kg. This is 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter. Generally they ask from here taking 2 kg on x-axis, 1 kg on y-axis, both origin. So this is 0 comma 0. This is 1 comma 0. You have moved 1 meter along x-axis and 0 meters along y-axis. Now comes this point. So you moved half meter and there. But this angle is 60, you know. So once you know 60, this is hypotenuse, this is a right angle triangle, 90 degrees. So this distance will be 1 cos 60 and this distance will be 1 sin 60. So these coordinates are, x coordinate is 1 cos 60, y coordinate is 1 sin 60. Cos 60 is half, sin 60 is root 3 by 2. Now XEM. M1 x1, 1 into 0, M2 x2, 2 into 1, that is 2, 3 into half, 1.5, by 1 plus 2 plus 3, 6, YCM, 1 into 0, 2 into 0, plus 3 into root 3, that is root 3 by 2, 2 and 1.5 root 3, 1.5 root 3 by 6. This comes out to be 3.5 by 6. 1.5 ones are 1.5 fours are root 3 by 4. So that is the XCM and YCM of this triangle called equilateral triangle. This is a typical question in the sense finding coordinates of this. Student may not be comfortable, but usage of trigonometry will help us. Now let us convert it into a parallelogram, adding one more mass. So like this, and this angle is also 60 degrees. So this length is say A, this length is say B. Parallelogram, angle is given 60 and 60. You may not be happy. Why 60, 60? Call it theta, theta. Okay, theta, theta. Okay, I don't have problem. Now how to do this problem and find the center of mass for a parallelogram? 1 kg, 2 kg, this is 3 kg or 4 kg you take. This is 13 kg you take. Doesn't matter what mass you take. So this coordinate is 0, 0. You have to travel this distance A, 0. This one, that comes out to be B. This is theta. Cos is x component. B cos theta, comma B sin theta. This is B means this is B. This is A means this is A. So coming to this coordinate here, you have to travel a distance A plus this extra, A plus B cos theta. A plus B cos theta is your x. And this vertical height will be same. Here also it is B sin theta, here also it is B sin theta. You are not traveled along y-axis. B sin theta. This into this plus this into this plus this into this plus this into this gives you x coordinate of center of mass divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3 like that. So this is a little typical problem. How to calculate center of mass I told there. Now let us take another geometrical shape, hexagon. Generally they give regular hexagon, ease of calculation. All are right triangles for you. Let us put the masses 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg, 4 kg, 5 kg, 6 kg. Side is say A or 1 meter. Now how to, and ask the center of mass from the center of the hexagon. So you take this as y-axis, take this as x-axis. So coordinates, this is 1, 0. This is minus 1, 0. This angle is 60. 1 cos 60, 1 sin 60. This is 1 cos 60. X you have to travel the same. Y you have to travel downward. Minus 1 sin 60. Exactly opposite to the y-axis. It's an image of this. So y direction it will be same, 1 sin 60. But cos 60 comes this side, minus 1 cos 60. Quite opposite here. Minus 1 sin 60, minus 1 cos 60. As this is in first quadrant, both are positive. Second quadrant, y positive, x negative. Third quadrant, both are negative. Fourth quadrant, x positive, y negative. Probably. Some students will think, sir, there is a lot of similarity. This and this are opposite, this and this are opposite, this and this are. So will it center of mass come at the center? No, it will not come at the center because masses are 1 kg, 2 kg. If you have taken all of them to be equal masses, center of mass comes at the center. But you have taken 1 kg here, 2 kg here, 3 kg here, 4 kg here, 5 kg here, 5 kg here, 6 kg here. So definitely center of mass will not come here. So from anywhere you can take the origin and you can do the calculations. You can take origin there also. You can take origin here also. But writing the coordinates is important. So this into this plus 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 this into this. First x coordinate multiplied with m1, m2, m3, m4, m5, m6 divided by total mass of the system. We will get center of mass of the x coordinate of the center of mass. Similarly the y coordinate of the center of mass. This is the way you have to do center of mass involved calculations. Yes, students, I think you understood different configurations: rectangle, square, triangle, equilateral, right angle. Even you can have circle like a clock. This is a clock. and the digits will be at every 30 degrees. They will be here. You know the angles: 30 degrees, 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 30 degrees. So you have 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So masses can be kept at any place. From origin you can take here, this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis, you can take anywhere. You can even take x-axis left side and downward also, where the masses are kept. One mass kept at 4 kg, other mass kept at 8 kg, other mass kept at 12 kg. Find the center of mass. Just you have to write the coordinates basing on those angles. And all angles are 30, 30, 30 degrees, like that. So problem can be solved. Only thing is you should be able to write the coordinates. This completes the topic center of mass, characteristic and calculation. But actually I'm sorry, I'm not quite happy. Some more calculations are there, but I'm postponing that into the next topic, P8.3. There we deal with the motion of center of mass. So velocities, momentums, accelerations, net force on center of mass, there we calculate. And there also some more calculations involving position of center of mass I'll teach. And I'll give conclusion for this topic. If at all there is a particle here outside the plane, into the plane, then 3D vectors are required. So each position vector you should know. First vector is at certain x cap, I cap, j cap, I cap, j, this is at I cap, this is j cap, something is outside, k cap. So you will get position vector. Formula is r bar is equal to m1 r1 bar plus m2 r2 bar plus m3 r3 bar divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3 as many particles as there. Only thing is you should know vectors. Here if you know trigonometry is sufficient, there you know vectors. Like that. We will stop.